so-called news this morning that Adam Shifty Schiff, as the president calls him, Nadler, Engler, the rest of the hacks up there on Capitol Hill, had nothing with regard to Russian collusion, but pushed this false narrative to a conclusion, to an impeachment, to a trial in the Senate, you name it, not just with regard to Russia, but with regard to Ukraine. And there's now documentation which shows that internally in Congress. Now, no surprise, Congress has become an irrelevant clown show. They do nothing. They just make noise. They politic. They stuff money into their pockets. And who helps them do that? But the cable news networks. If you're on the left, you go to CNN or you go to MSNBC. If you're on the so-called right, and I say so-called right because these people are not conservatives, you go to Fox. So this morning, I turn on Fox briefly. I do it just briefly. I turn them on, I turn CNN on, I turn MSNBC on, and then I turn them off. And I read the internet. Because Fox is now promoting on Fox and Friends that, again, there's going to be justice, that heads are going to roll, that John Durham, who was appointed by the worthless blowhard Attorney General Bill Barr, is going to actually do something now. Well, you know what? I've been doing this for 25 years, and nothing ever happens to the higher-ups, to the elites. They protect each other. The Democrats protect the Republicans protect the others. They just go on cable news to raise money for their own reelection, stuffing money into their pockets all the way to the bank and gathering more and more power. Go to Washington, D.C., when this coronavirus hopefully subsides someday, and walk the halls of the House of Representatives and Senate. See them in their $3,000 to $5,000 silk suits with silk Italian ties, their gold cufflinks, prancing about as if they're the new American nobility. Well, we know what happened to the nobility in the court of Versailles in France and also in England. They didn't meet a happy fate, and I'm not suggesting that. We need to wage a new revolution peacefully and legally. And what are they doing other than making noise with regard to the coronavirus known as COVID-19? Oh, we're going to have legislation to hold the Chinese accountable. We're going to remove their immunity. We're going to not do business with them. This is even Senator Tom Cotton, who was in the military, who I don't despise, one of the few I don't up there, but that's a sham. What you have to do is take matters into your own peaceful and legal hands. And that is join Freedom Watch's class action lawsuit in Dallas, Texas. We're going to be filing other ones around the country as well. I'm taking named putative defendants to see if you qualify to be a plaintiff. We're not asking to take any of the damages or anything. This is a public interest aspect of it. And hopefully, if we're successful, you'll reap the benefit, the American people and our country. And we also have our criminal case in The Hague, Holland, where at the International Criminal Court, we're asking them to investigate. Now, every single day, there's more information that this was a bioweapon. Now, there was an article yesterday that the virus is morphing to the point that the currently developed vaccines may not even apply. They may not even work with the way this thing morphs. And we know from certain experts, and we're gathering those experts, that there was HIV injected into this virus. It is a manufactured virus. Does anybody doubt that? So why is the president and why are others protecting China? What do they have on our politicians other than the fact that they supply medicines and things like that? Why are we pulling our punches with regard to China from our governmental standpoint? And that was my message yesterday. You can't believe anything the government says anymore. We know that. So we have to ourselves get discovery. We have to take action. We can't sit back. And my colleagues in Israel, they're really, busting what to get to the truth here. They're even working against Prime Minister Netanyahu now. Not that they dislike him, but Netanyahu's covering for the Chinese too, and he knows what went on. It just so happens that he let out a lease to run the port of Haifa, the most important lease in Israel, the most important port where all their commerce occurs and where there are military vessels and where the United States has a military fleet, which is being spied upon by the Chinese who are now running that port. The Chinese run the Panama Canal. They can cut our ships from going from sea to sea, from Atlantic to Pacific, even our military ships. They bought up public utilities around the world. The Chinese The communists are very, very smart people. In many ways, they're smarter than we are, as Trump has said. I mean, they play the long game, and they don't need nuclear weapons to dominate the world. Now they're dominating it with a bioweapon that got released, probably accidentally, but it's illegal. There's no immunity, and that's why we brought suit. And they acted criminally. They need to be thrown in prison. And I keep saying this because I don't want this to turn into a reaction against the Chinese people who are good people, or Chinese Americans or Asian Americans who are hardworking, who believe in freedom, who are conservatives by and large. They're joining up to our suit to see if they qualify too. So I want you to go to freedomwatchusa.org, sign up for our class action, see if you can become a plaintiff, and also share this podcast at freedomwatchusa.org, at Spotify, at iTunes, at Roku, at Amazon Fire, on Facebook, on Twitter. Share it far and wide, because at Radio America, you get the truth. And the truth doesn't come from Congress, the dog and pony shows. And turn off Fox News. And if you're a leftist, turn off the other cables and get to work. Try to save this country. It's going down the drain right now in many different ways. We need to wage another second American revolution peacefully and legally. It's not going to be in the courts, believe me, other than the fact that we have a good case with regard to the coronavirus. But when you get into the politics, and that case is not politics, you have these very hack judges on both sides that play games on the federal bench. So we need to rise up in many different ways. But coronavirus, no, that concerns everybody. Doesn't matter what your political persuasion is. And I'm confident that we will proceed. So support that. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. Contribute with tax-deductible contributions. Sign up as a putative plaintiff to see if you'll qualify. We already have nearly 2,000 plaintiffs, and support our criminal case in The Hague, Holland, and our cases around the world, including the case in Jerusalem, Israel, which is moving forward quickly. God bless you. God bless your family, and stay safe. God bless my family, and God bless this country. And listen to what I have to say, and listen to these podcasts, because we are giving you the truth. We're not giving you smoke and mirrors, hoping that the Congress will do something, or John Durham will do something, or the Attorney General will do something. To be blunt, they don't do squat. They just profit and try to get reelected. I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of our special podcast. Until then, stay safe, and thank you for listening to me.
Happy here. Diversify your burger portfolio with Charbroil Double Deals at Carl's Jr. You can get a double cheeseburger, jalapeno double cheeseburger, or a California Classic double cheeseburger for only $2.99 each. Available for a limited time only. Participate in Carl's Jr. restaurants. Tax not included. Price participation may vary. Tax not included.